The 6 bells at St John the Baptist Church in Eastnor, Herefordshire, were last removed from the tower in 1926. The failure of part of the mechanism that supports the heaviest bell, the tenor, in April 2019 prompted a plan to get all the bells repaired and refurbished, and to carry out repairs to the tower as well. A new servery and an extension with toilets will also form part of the project. A group of volunteers assembled on the 19th of April 2021 to remove the bell wheels and other fittings so that the bells could then be lowered. The next day, starting with the removal of the trapdoor beneath the bells, the job of lifting the bells from the frame and lowering them about 70 feet to the ground began. Graham Clifton from White's, the Bell Hangers. Graham, tell us where we are and what you've been doing today.
Well, we've just got 7 bells down the tower and they're all safely on the floor. Luckily for me, the locals had taken all the bits and pieces off, removed the wheels and clappers, so made the job easier, and they all came down quite easily.
Right, so no particular challenges?
No, not really. There was the tenor bell was a little bit wider than the hole it had to come through, so we had to come through, tip it slightly and come through at an angle, but not too bad.
And tell us what's going to happen to the bells now.
We're going to pick the bells up tomorrow and take them back to our works near Oxford. They'll be retuned and they'll have all new fittings put on them.
Great, look forward to it.
Yep.
The day's work ends when all the bells are safely on the floor of the tower. The clappers which strike the inside of the bell have also made a safe landing. A project like this relies heavily on the contribution of volunteers as well as on paid professionals. That said, some of the volunteers have a great deal of experience in this sort of work and have been part of many such enterprises in other towers. Barney, you've come across the border from Wales. What brings you into Herefordshire today?
Herefordshire, well, this is home for me. I grew up in Eastnor, went to school here, where my father was headmaster, and have rang here from the age of about 16 or 17, and have kept in touch ever since. So it's a real pleasure to be able to come and join in and help with what's a once-in-a-century event.
Roy Williams. Hello, Roy. You're
Hello.
here today with an official connection, but also a personal one. Just tell me about that.
That's true. For the last 17 years, I've been the Hereford Diocese Bell Advisor. But also, in 1966, I actually learnt to ring at Eastnor, so I have a personal connection. And this project has been in my mind for many years, so I'm really pleased to be able to see that that it's actually now finally taking place during my tenure as Bells Advisor.
The next day, another beautiful spring day, the main task is to get the bells onto a lorry so that they can be taken to the White's workshop in Oxfordshire. A smaller 7th bell with a different function, called a Sanctus bell, will also make the journey. First, however, they are lined up in order of size so that this rare event can be properly appreciated and recorded. Alan, you've been very much involved with everything to do with bells at Eastnor. Are you pleased with the way it's gone in the last 2 days?
We're very pleased, yes. We've had 2 previous days when we took all the fittings off, and yesterday we lowered the bells under Graham's direction, and today we're loading the bells prior to going to Appleton for refurbishment.
And what are you most pleased with about this project?
Well, the fact it's happening because for the last 2 years we had the tenor bell hasn't been working because the gudgeon broke, and it was considered with the state of the fittings on the other bells, nothing but a complete rehang of the whole peel was the ideal solution.
So you might say it was a happy accident.
You could say that, yes.
The youngest members of the local community, who go to school just across the road and have long used the church for regular assemblies, were also part of this once-in-a-century experience. They were bursting with questions about how the bells are made and used, and why they had to come out of the tower. The oldest of these bells, cast by Gloucestershire bell founder Abraham Ruddle, dates back to 1689 and bears a Latin motto which translates roughly as follows: "Worship, death, and celebration cause me to ring out." In other words, apart from ringing for services and funerals, there are and always have been a multitude of personal, local and national events, from weddings to coronations to victories in war or celebrations of peace, for which these bells have been rung over time. We look forward now to the next chapter of the story of their role at the heart of the Eastnor community.